morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the SharinGANG podcast. I'm Clockwork Nerd, and as ever, I'm joined today by...
Yours truly, that guy.
PT64.
Today, guys, we are going over a few different anime and manga today, aren't we?
You certainly are.
We've got my journey so far through Bleach.
Yes, we do.
Blood.
I was not expecting that.
I've always got to do it when nobody's expecting it.
That was too good.
That's always when nobody's expecting it. You forget it's there, and then boom.
My train of thought's gone.
Yeah, Shaman King.
Shaman King.
We're talking about a bit of Shaman King, getting Clockwork to let us know why we should be jumping on this hype train.
I should join on this 20-year hype train.
Right. A little bit of Jujustu
Kaisen.
Yeah,
we said in synchronicity there.
All synced up.
Yeah,
so, Shaman King then. Nice way to start, innit?
Let's do that.
Yeah, so I would love for you to tell me why my news feeds and sort of like I'm seeing all over my usual weeby haunts on the internet, like everyone's super stoked for season 2, is it? Of Shaman
It's
King?
a remake.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So like completely redoing it. Also, as well, if you would be so kind, lad, as to tell me and our dear viewers a brief synopsis on Shaman King.
Yeah. So Shaman King centers around a typical lazy shonen protagonist.
Yes.
Called Yo, who is a shaman. Now, shamans in the show are just people who can see and communicate with spirits.
Right.
Okay.
And his goal is to become the Shaman King through this tournament that happens once every 500 years. 500 or 1,000. I can't remember. I think it's 500. Basically, it's his journey through that tournament with his spirit sidekick Amidomaru, who's a samurai, and he's sick. I love him.
It's a magic word right there, samurai. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got a samurai ghost with him at all times. He's amazing.
Oh, insane.
Yeah, so you get your giant ghost battles in there. It's awesome. But yeah, so it's him and his friend's journey through the tournament, and basically whoever becomes Shaman King has the ability to reshape the world however they so wish.
Ooh,
So
you get that ultimate wish. You get the everybody.
Exactly. So if you can imagine.
Oh, nice.
Oh dear.
And you said it was 20 years old?
Well, the original anime came out 21 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
The original anime, it was 50 or 60 episodes long. It was dubbed by Jetix.
Good old Jetix.
I have been
and was aired on there.
On this.
Yeah, I remember it as a kid. I think that's where a lot of the hype comes from, to be honest, is people my age who watched it when we were kids on Jetix, prime time.
That nostalgia value.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
basically when they say that they're bringing Zoids back, that'll be...
Exactly that.
That'll be my equivalent right there.
I'll lose my shit that day as well, don't worry. But yeah, I think that's where a lot of the hype comes from. And also, like, the manga's pretty decently rated as well by a lot of people. And apparently, I've not read the manga. You guys know I'm not a manga reader.
Yet.
Not yet. Yeah, that's fair.
Absolutely.
But apparently, the anime deviated a lot from its source material. But the new version is meant to stick a lot truer to it.
Okay.
According to
I
rumors.
really do. I really hope so. You know what I'm like with that Boruto sort of.
Yeah, exactly. That anime canon.
Yeah, get out of it. That's not a real term. You can do one with that.
I've only ever seen it in Boruto.
I know, mate. I know. That's why I'm just like, no, I'm not
No.
accepting that.
No.
I'm not accepting that as any kind of like terminology. There's no such thing as anime canon. There's canon and filler.
I used to see that quite a lot coming up. I'd watch a lot of anime, read a bit of manga, and if it was ever the same thing, back in the day when it was just like, oh, you get a season of an anime, whereas the manga goes on for a while, is the normal. That one season, particularly towards the end, would deviate massively.
Yeah.
To the point, I mean, obviously you want the anime to continue on forever if you like the manga, but sometimes, or more times, I was like, just copy it to the T and just cut it dead randomly. Like just we're on the same number of episodes rather than just change the whole thing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well,
Absolutely.
So hopefully this is going to go back to its roots.
Hopefully. I mean, the other thing with the anime as well is it left it at a point where it kind of promised a sequel series, and 20 years later we haven't gotten it. So
Yeah.
so there's also that, which I can't tell you how heartbroken I was as a kid when I realised that I was never getting this sequel series.
Something kind of used to, really, being obviously,
Unfortunately,
well, you know, the people we are and what we love, games and whatnot. I mean, how many
God,
games
don't.
did you play? And then it's just like, no, company's bust, bye.
Done
Do you know what I
now.
mean? And like all that kind of stuff. And like, I mean, I remember finishing Shenmue 2. And don't get me wrong, I know there's a Shenmue 3 now.
But back then.
You know, we're talking Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where's the rest? And I mean, not to mention Half-Life 2. I mean, episode 2, leaving it on a cliffhanger as well, and then just going, yeah, don't worry about that.
Forget about it. Don't worry.
There's no such thing as 3.
I feel a little bit ashamed of myself because when you
What do you
said that, where the company goes bust and we don't get any more games, the game that jumped to mind straight away was Prototype, and then you mentioned Shenmue. And I'm like, how filthy of me to dare think
Went
of
to
Prototype.
Oh,
What's become of you, Ryan? What is wrong?
terrible.
But yeah. It is with anime. I came to expect it growing up watching anime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd almost
to be
just never
fair.
see something again. I know.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Like I say, it's exactly what happened for me with Zoids. And getting hold of that was nigh impossible. I looked everywhere to try and get like the DVD box sets. I managed to get like season 1, part 1, which I still have to this day. And that was it.
Well, it's the remake season out here now, isn't it? With all sorts of medium games, movies.
It's just
Anime,
remake
apparently.
generation, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, of course it
everything's
is.
getting remade. That's it.
Which, let's be honest, I mean, we've never moved out of that. Even when we were growing
Well,
up,
yeah.
it was exactly the same thing. I mean, you know, when you're getting like original horror films that were coming out in the 80s, and it's just like, get ready for Halloween 15.
Yeah,
You know, and it's just like,
yeah.
nothing ever finishes. Nothing ever, you know, people
There's
just
never closure.
can't seem to accept closure. That's exactly it, yeah. People just can't seem to leave well enough alone. It's like, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that I'm glad have carried on because I might be a fan of it. But I'm not making phone calls to be like, where's the rest of the Lord of the Rings? Do you know what I mean? I adore that, and I would love nothing more than to get more. And obviously the hype over that Amazon Prime series that's coming out.
Oh no.
Absolute hype about that. Like, I can't wait. I love it. But again, you know, I'm not sort of, where's the rest? It's just, let it be. Let it be. But yeah, so I mean, I'm definitely getting the Jujutsu vibes from Shaman King, definitely, with the whole, you know what I mean? Shamans can, you know, speak, like, sort of see spirits. And this, that, and the other.
They see them, they speak to them, and they can fight with them.
Is that the only sort of form of combat between the spirits?
There's also spirits that still inhabit bodies. I don't want to call them zombies, but they're zombies.
Okay.
But they still have a mind of their own.
So like Kon in Bleach, Konpaku. Obviously he's got the little pill.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not a zombie or anything, is he? But he gets like put in and he's like a soul. Do you know what I mean? So he Do you know what I mean? Like,
I suppose it'd be a good comparison, to be fair.
Where it's like, you know, he's got his own personality. They're their own people, but they can almost change vessel.
Just like possessed.
Well, they are still limited to like their own original body.
Ah, right.
But yeah, other than that, that's...
so that's where the zombies part comes in. Then.
Yeah, cool. I don't want to call them zombies, but they are. They're zombies with minds of their own.
Yeah, not brain dead eating machines, but
exactly.
intelligent zombies, as it were.
And they still have their shaman partner. There's one guy who's got a skeleton.
Yeah.
Because he's creepy and edgy, and he has a skeleton.
Okay.
He's funny, though. I really like him. He's funny.
What was it about it back in the day when you watched it that leaves you excited? Like, I'm just purely into these things most of the time for the action and the high octane stuff. I know you like a little bit more substance. Was this an action one? Was this like a moving one, a slice of life one? What type of?
I think it finds a nice mix. Like you get your cool action, you get your giant spirit fights, you get your sword fights, and you still get
combo.
that combo happens all the time. It's amazing.
I like that. Just the combo of substance, story, and action, because you can't have action that you care about. Like for me, it's just a fact. You can't have action that you honestly care about without substance.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? The reason that, for instance, we hype about so many fights in so many different animes because we love the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We love the back and forths between them and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? And that's what makes it so rich. First time you're seeing like proper fights between like, Goku and Vegeta or something like that, you're hyping on it because it's like you care about those characters. You're like this, you know about them and you know how awesome this is going to be.
Yeah.
I can appreciate like what I would call an epic battle without the substance, but if the substance is there, I do enjoy it more.
That's exactly it. Of course.
That.
It's exactly that, though. You enjoy it so much more. And I find that I will really enjoy a scene. I'll be like, that was awesome. There might be a couple of giggles, but I'm not doing my classic roll around, gripping the settee, losing my mind over it.
Yeah.
Because, when you grow to love a protagonist, for instance, that finally pushes forward and defeats that opponent that they've been struggling against, it's all hands on hype, innit? You're losing your mind over it. This is the thing. But if you watch one, you can be like, that was awesome. And then it gives you that, I need to get into this now. And why do you want to get into it? Because you want to know the characters.
Yeah.
And
hand in hand.
To this day, like Shaman King, like it is nostalgia as well, but like some of the characters in that are still some of my favourite characters.
Really?
Yeah, I still love them. Like they're typical characters. They don't deviate much from the shonen mold, but I still love them.
It's worked for decades, mate. Why would it stop now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why would it stop now?
Shonen just has this way of making me love characters. It's just what they do.
I think those classic tropes are the only kind of tropes that you allow time after time after time after time.
Yeah.
You get into a new anime, you get that classic protagonist. It's the similar setup. You can see similarities between others. And if anything, you're not thinking, oh, here we go again. You're thinking, now we're in for something good.
Yeah.
What's
the variation on it?
Yeah, man. If I get a 3-man squad, it's about to go off.
I think me and you were talking about this the other day, actually. Clockwork.
Yeah.
At the end of work, it was like, I was saying like the stuff that I would call old school.
Yeah.
Sort of didn't have the tropes that you see today so much of. And I don't see how, like, I compare My Hero to Naruto all the time because it's almost like an overlay, the way that I see it.
Yeah.
The way that I see it. I'm saying that's the truth of the matter. That's just the way that I see it. But back in the day, you wouldn't really see that much. But then again, there wasn't as much anime out there, not by far. There was never like, releases. New anime started yearly or half every 6 months is something else. It was few and far between for quality stuff in my eyes back then. But now you do see a lot of that sort of that tropey stuff where you feel like after watching a couple of episodes, you can just tell where this is going to go.
Yeah, you get that feeling of whether it's going to be like this has got potential here.
I mean, my like Jujustu Kaisen, reading the manga. And it took once it bit me, I just thrashed through that thing, and I'm up to date with it now. Yeah. But it took longer for it to get me, simply because of those tropes that I recognized.
Yeah.
But later on, like there are some blatant references, like hideously blatant references, like to other anime and manga, and I just love it now. But at the start of it, I'm like, no, you're just trying to be this, you're just trying to be this. And then the action got me. And then that's where it really gripped me. And I'm at this point now, I'm like, I love those references. I love those nods. I love those sort of overlays. But at the start I don't. But you don't really, from what I recall when I was growing up, watching anime, I don't really recall seeing, other than sort of the typical anime as a whole sort of art style, if that is a thing. It's a massive art style. That was the only sort of similarity that I saw, other than being action or romance or whatever the genre.
Yeah. I think something that definitely grabs me when it comes to whether something's going to be good or not, especially when obviously you get that initial introduction of characters and whatnot in an anime or or manga that you get into, and you get that introduction, you start learning yada yada, and you might see like the protagonist and maybe one other character do a couple of bits and bobs, like whatever. But I think the thing that really gets me is because I know we as a three tend to gravitate toward like your action anime. We don't watch as much group of friends at high school,
slice of life stuff.
Yeah, the sort of social anime and stuff, which again I've no problem with at all. Like a lot of stuff, they suck you in way more than you expected they actually would. It's crazy, but we are particularly into the action stuff, and I think when you can, it doesn't. I don't care. Like I was saying before, I don't care if you're showing me all the typical tropes. You've got the 3-man squad, there's abilities, there's references from other things, so much stuff you can recognize. As soon as those characters start revealing their abilities, if you can show me something I've not seen before, you've got me.
Yeah.
You've got me way more interested. Like Jujustu Kaisen, for instance.
The impact.
Is it Nobadu or Nobada? I'm not sure. Is it U or I can't remember. But the girl of the sort of main character squad, the protagonist.
The hammer chick.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
This is it.
My god.
She gets put into the hot seat, as in time to shine, and she whips out a hammer and 2 nails, and I'm like, okay.
What? Yeah, I know. I was like, what is about to go down here?
Exactly, mate. And I'm like, okay. And this is what I'm talking about. As soon as you can show me something like that, just something along those lines, how's this gonna go? And just like the man himself that the internet is revering, Gojo. When you see his abilities and stuff, I'm like, yeah, sold.
Yeah, I you can't even really call his thing. Is it an ability or is it just godhood?
I know, right?
What
it's
even is that?
It kind of is, isn't it? It's in a way, yeah. It's certain things, controlling certain things give you a level of power that just exceed other things.
Yeah, it's complete overkill, but not in a sort of, not to say it's boring, but you get the boring Superman overkill sort of that. Superman's going to be fine regardless. He's okay. And you sort of just get used to it. But with Gojo, might be because I'm new to it. I'm show me more of this just you. I know you're just going to stomp everybody. I just want to see you do it. Whereas with Superman, I'm okay, shout me if he gets into trouble. I might have a look then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so far for me, the closest thing I can compare Gojo to would be the same feeling that you got with Madara.
Yeah.
That feeling of, it doesn't matter who you put against him.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It's you're not thinking, as soon as, I wasn't, I'll be honest, as much as there's I can't wait for this fight that's about to ensue, I can't say I had the greatest amount of faith in the 5 game when they were stepping up. I wasn't thinking, here we go, guys, you've got it under wraps. Time to wrap this war up. I'm thinking you done fucked up.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter how much the story or the other characters tell you that Gojo or Madara is just on another level. You just, every time they show it, you're just wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You told me he was unlimited, but I still didn't grasp he's unlimited. It's
and
crazy.
it's that, I mean, I can understand, as much as I dislike it, I can understand in some personality regards why people associate Gojo with Kakashi, for instance.
Yeah.
But I think he's a lot more whimsical. Kakashi's a lot more, what's the word? I don't want to say withdrawn because that's not the correct word.
He's more of a guardian, isn't he?
He's a lot more just chill. Do you know what I mean? He's a lot more sort of, this, that, and the other. Whereas Gojo's a lot more sit down, feet up. Yeah, it's all good.
Gojo,
it's don't worry about it.
He's got no sense of urgency and he has no sense of danger.
No,
not that he would need to have it.
Even in the face of bigwigs, for instance, he'll just absolutely just disrespect and just doesn't care because he's just he's the kind of guy who leans in. He's just as far as I'm concerned, you should all be dead. He's that kind of guy.
Even the enemies know. Everybody, even his enemies know. We're just gonna have to let him behave like that and disrespect us. because we need something clever to take this guy down. So just let him take the piss.
Yeah,
right?
nobody
Until an
can do
opportunity
anything about
comes.
him.
Like, the whole world is just like this, just Gojo.
So I can't wait for that, you know. And again, it's what the tropes teach you. You know, I can't wait. I can't wait for that curse that's going to be the one. That's going to be the one that makes you go, oh. Like as soon as Gojo gets slapped, do you know what I mean? You're going to be like, this is the top grade. Do you know what I mean? This is the level.
It's gonna get there, man. Can't wait.
I've no doubt. I still need to jump back on and to continue. But so far, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I highly recommend anybody to jump on it, definitely. Whether you jump on the anime, I mean, I can't be held responsible for any filler action, but whether you jump on the manga or the anime, highly recommend it's one that everybody adds to their list, definitely. And if you have already dove in to Jujustu Kaisen, whether it be the manga or the anime, hit us up in the comments and let us know what you're thinking of it so far and how you're feeling about it and where you think it's going to go, etc., etc. We'd love to know. But I think that brings us very lovely straight into Bleach.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
Brings us nicely round, doesn't it?
It really does. So Clockwork.
Yep.
Bleach.
Oh, where do I start?
Wherever you want.
It doesn't matter. We're happy, mate.
Oh yeah.
I've just watched last night the fight with Kenpachi.
Boy!
Oh my god! That fight was insane. Oh my god!
I have been prancing around you like a giddy schoolgirl. Like, have you seen it yet? Have you seen it yet? Come on, tell me you've watched it. Tell me you've watched it. Come on, please. It's so hard being around him on an almost daily basis, knowing that that's just.
I know, right? Knowing that Kenpachi's right there.
Really quick, do you want to just put a spoiler warning here for everyone?
Yes, if you haven't checked Bleach out yet, up to
episode
season 2
40
mark, is about the episode 40 mark.
Yeah.
Right? So if you haven't, guys, spoiler warning now. Continue, lad.
There we go. So I watched. That's where I started last night. Was that fight? When he took that eye patch off, I lost my mind.
And you come to learn why he has. Have you learned why he has the eye patch on and stuff now? Then finally, to suppress his power because he's too gnarly, so he does it as a disadvantage.
He cannot turn off the extremeness of himself.
Always giving his opponents a handicap, like.
I know.
What?
Like always making it easier for people because he knows he's just going to be clapping cheeks.
It's a highlight for me. It's a personal highlight of Bleach for me. That moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it just screamed that whole old school Dragon Ball sort of vibe when he took it off and his aura is just blowing the hell.
Oh,
very much so.
You know what I mean?
And that blaze strike where he just like levels about 2 skyscrapers in that one strike.
Yeah.
That casual strike of the eye.
I know as well. It's not even like there's no effort. It's just like a one-handed.
Yeah.
And
just like 5 minutes before that, we'd just seen him literally just slowly push his way through Ichigo's Zanpakuto. Just slowly through it.
Yeah. Like butter.
This was before you took the eye. Oh my god.
God. Absolute beast, man.
That was one of the first fights we see Ichigo do the glowy eye thing. That was sort of like, I thought it was going to be a new form or something, or just something that he did when he powered up in it. I was like, oh, we're about to get some sort of transformation or something. But his eyes just glue up blue and he was just looking devilish, mate. Yeah. Like fully matched Kenpachi on levels of awesome.
And it's like, don't worry about that. Pretend you never saw it. One of them, innit? Yeah. One of those classics. It's the Bleach GT, mate. It's the Bleach GT.
That didn't happen. Don't worry about it.
Get to know that. Like, it's the Bleach GT, that sort of like glowy eye ability thing. Yeah, that's one thing I will say, because I don't want you to get expectations about some gnarly new thing that he's got up his nose.
It's just it's got.
No, it's just one of those like I think it was almost like a extra visual representation of like Ichigo leveling up.
I think they just forgot about it in future power-ups. Then it was like, oh, well, yeah, we forgot to colour in his eyes again.
It's like, well, he's beyond that now, and he's beyond it. Don't worry about it, he's beyond it now. He's better than that.
He does advance very quickly, though, Ichigo, doesn't he?
I've noticed that.
Especially in season
boom,
2.
boom, boom.
Yeah,
in season 2, he does. It does slow down after this, man. It definitely slows down. Because, you know, the power level goes from strong to epically gnarly. Do you know what I mean? Like the power levels just go above and beyond. Like it really does. And it kind of shows you as well. Always really made me laugh, but it's one of those things. And again, as always, you know, no spoilers for you, Clockwork, but it's the kind of thing where it makes me think, when I really think about it, and you know, you go into later and I think about things that me and that guy know, I think they could have put Ichigo down immediately.
So easily.
Yeah. They could have ended him right there. The only reason Kenpachi didn't cut his head off straight away is because he was like, I like this kid.
He was having too much fun fighting.
It's the only reason, mate, seriously. Like, there's no question in my mind, like, any of them could have rocked up and just gone, you're dead.
But to be fair, that's another trope, though, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Like, you see that quite a lot. Like, the enemy, it could just absolutely
Sasuke's painted to plot armor.
Yeah. It's Vegeta. It's flipping Todo in Jujutsu. Like,
yeah. Absolutely, man.
Should just wreck him. But no, I kind of like you, so I need someone to fight. Yeah.
So true, mate. Yeah, Todo could have crushed his skull in one move. Like, just immediately ended him. He's just like, no, you're my best friend. Sorry, yeah, good lord. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, just they could so easily have just ended him. So have you come to the end of the Kenpachi fight now then?
Yes, I have. I've finally seen Yoruichi's true form. She's revealed herself.
Finally, we've been waiting so long, especially all the references to he. Like, we've been waiting so long.
God, they fooled me so hard with that.
You know what I'm like, I don't care. That sexy reveal.
Oh, no.
That sexy Yoruichi reveal, mate. And I'll tell you what, honestly, man, like, Yoruichi is insane.
I got that feeling.
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
I mean, I did my best not to explain why, and I think I did a good job
earlier
you on. But once he finally says that he's seen like what Yoruichi's about, I'm like, yes, yeah. I just know what's coming up, and it's just some. She brings some of the, for me, like best moments of at this stage in the anime. Anyway, when she does her stuff, it just leaves you feeling so in awe.
Yeah,
like it raises the bar. She raises the power bar for a bit, I reckon.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
I was hoping so, because the episode I ended on, he's just got to Ichigo's just gotten to Rukia, flying on that weird device. He's just landed, and Yoruichi just turned up, and everyone looks shocked as fuck. So I'm like, oh, okay, good. So you are gnarly.
So you've seen the fact that the people might know.
Yeah, they seem to recognize the face. And I'm like,
okay. Yeah. There's certain characters. I'm not naming any names, but there's certain character. But there are definitely characters. But this one that is in my mind right now, there is this one particular dude who I cannot wait for you to learn more about, because he was always one of my just all-time favorite characters in Bleach, because he's just incredible. Like, you love him from the get-go. I'm amazed. You know, he's one of those characters that the only thing I'll say is you do know this character.
Is it the little medical dude? What's his name? Begins with a H.
I can't remember his name, but I know. You mean with the
scalpel? I know who you mean. I know who you mean.
I wanted him to bust out something sick for so long.
I knew you would take a liking to that character.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's just pathetic.
He is just shit. Oh.
Yeah.
He's Krillin. He's Krillin.
No, the thing is, mate, no, he's not. He's worse.
He's
there is a bit later on.
At least Krillin can cut people in half.
Yeah, he's got the Strepto disc.
Great. He's
a bit
banter
later
again.
on where he has a little bit of promise, doesn't he? Do you know when they're all coming back later on in the manga? Like, and they're doing the last sort of like rigmarole before the end, and he pops back up, and everybody's like had major power ups. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what this guy can do. It's like, oh,
Nothing. Good.
yeah, it's like he could do a little bit more than what he could do before. Like,
yeah, just a bit. Yeah, just a bit. But no, don't get me wrong. Like, he's a great character. He is. And I've got nothing against him. I genuinely don't. But no, unfortunately, the sort of like pathetic character that he is,
He is just pathetic. Good.
He's just simply pathetic. Yeah, there's no power up there. But no, this other character is someone that you'll already have many questions, man, guaranteed. But it's a character that I definitely love and cannot wait for you to discover more about him and just how insane he is.
I'm waiting to see more of Captain Hitsugaya. I can't wait to see more of him.
Of course you are.
I cannot wait. He has piqued my interest so much already.
Yeah.
Hitsugaya is a champion. Absolute champion.
I've even got to stop myself just like calling out the names of the different Bankai. Because when you mentioned him earlier, like I almost started just doing it. And I was going to like call out his name. Like, I was going to leave the whole experience for you, man.
Hitsugaya, like we said like all that time ago, like guaranteed one of, if not favourite character, 100%. We knew off the get-go that Hitsugaya would be your boy, and like I say, you've seen nothing yet.
Like I said, I've literally seen him in like 3 2 to 5 minute scenes, and that's it, and he's done nothing yet.
I was going to say, he is one that you do see some stuff on later on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. But at least you know when you're getting Hitsugaya, you're getting Rangaku, so it's,
of course. Yeah.
You're always winning as soon as you're getting Matsumoto as well. So you're winning.
The shiniest cleavage.
Now I remember who you mean. Okay.
It's always mirroring. Always got that mirror finish on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the tall, like sort of gingerish haired girl who's got no business having that size rag.
No.
But there she is. But what is it? Yeah, no, regardless, she as well, like again, just like Yoruichi, like a lot of the female characters, that's what I really loved about Bleach. Yes, there might have been fan service on a lot of characters, but by God, did TA make them gnarly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he really stepped up when it came to like the female characters as well. Because sometimes, you get the kunoichi, You get the flower arranging and step aside, right? You get the ninja flowers and step aside, right? And then you get things like Bleach, and that's the big difference in my opinion between Naruto and Bleach. Is there are some awesome female characters in Naruto, but a lot of them are a joke in comparison to the gnarliness of the male characters. Bleach, behave yourself. The women are insane. And I would pit any of them against any of the guys.
I was hoping to see what one of the lieutenants can do. I think I've heard a name once. I can't remember. It's the lieutenant of the captain with the pink kimono. I can't remember his name either.
Oh yeah, I know exactly who you mean.
With the glasses.
Yeah.
It's always
They're really serious.
Yeah.
They begin with N. I can't remember.
I cannot remember to save my life.
Is it Lisa? No.
I think. He calls her by like a Western name, doesn't he?
I'm sure he does, but I cannot think of it to save my life. But
it's left me now, unfortunately. It has left me, to be fair.
It's just that moment after he's put Chad down, and she's just stood there like, you want me to kill him? Do it. I love Chad, but do it. I want to see what you can do.
It's like, do you want to finish it?
And I love Chad.
Yeah, because you said that you was looking forward to see Chad have some action.
And then
Chad have some action.
He throws a bunch of punches. He dodges every single one of them except for the first one, which he just goes, it's gone. And then he runs up to him with one final punch and just gets cut down. And he did nothing that episode except have a flashback that felt.
The thing is though, man, when you actually know who he's up against.
He's up against Cat. Going into the episode, I said to myself, Chad has no business being in this fight.
No. And the thing is, not only is he a captain, he's OG.
Oh damn! Okay.
I
really have no business in that fight.
No, mate, like way more than you realise. We are talking pinnacle.
And there's a massive build to you sort of realising that as well, isn't there?
Oh man, you won't truly find out how gnarly he is until probably an
Back
arc
end.
or two. Yeah.
Fair.
Oh, aye. Very long time, man, before you see anything real. And if you really want to see the realness, 1,000 Year Blood War.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Yet again.
Unfortunately, like the more you like any character, is the more you're going to have to need to read. It doesn't matter which character it is.
Enjoy Kenpachi, 1,000 Year Blood War.
Oh, jeez, yes.
Enjoy Byakuya, 1,000 Year Blood War. Do you enjoy Ichigo? 1,000 Year Blood War.
Saying that, yeah, that's his name, Byakuya, right? Have you seen his fight with Yoriichi? Yeah.
You up?
Has he had who have you seen him fight?
That should be it, man. If you've seen him,
what was his face? The
Ganju, yeah.
Yeah, he put him down with that cherry blossom.
The Senbon Sakura, man. Senbon Sakura.
Oh my god,
Senbon Sakura is absolutely just, oh my lord.
That was so beautiful.
So you've finally seen Byakuya's Bankai. You've seen the one. Do you know what I mean? You've seen what's good, and you've seen that's the Senbon Sakura, obviously with the cherry
saying
blossoms.
that's his what do they call it? The second stage? What do they call the second stage of it? They've got the standard form, and then there's a second one.
It's Shikai and Bankai, isn't it?
Shikai, that's it.
No, Shikai's the first one, yeah.
First one, yeah. And then the Bankai's the one where it's just like overkill.
It's the ultimate move.
Yeah,
it's the Rasen Shuriken. Do you know? It's the trump. It's the trump card, mate. Yeah. Any Bankai is the trump card. Like, if I need to win, it's time for Bankai. Like, that is how captains work.
His Shikai was just like a toned down. Like, his Bankai is Shikai, but like on major steroids.
Where the blade disappears and turns into
that's that. And then it's when he drops it in it that this the ultimate.
Yeah. Apologies there. Yeah, I'm thinking. You're thinking busting that out. Yeah, no apologies. To be fair, it's not actually necessarily anything that's like, because I've not told you anything about any gnarlier version.
No.
But it's legitimately not any kind of like spoiler, as it were.
No.
Because you've seen the cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
I've not said anything that's like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, there's just too out there.
This is crazy. I've got a certain fight towards the end of this arc. In my mind, mate, and you're like, "Oh my god, look what he's doing!" And then a certain person is just like, "Nah, it doesn't matter anymore, mate. It doesn't matter anymore." Oh, it's really horrible that I'm trying to do this, like, for the purpose of recording on a podcast, but I can't give too much away. So the listeners that haven't seen Bleach are just like, "What are these guys talking about?" Me and James just know exactly.
You know where I am.
But you're getting there, bro. You're getting there.
I know. I'm getting straight back on it after this.
Like, and this is it. Like, get on that. Like I say, episode 64, I think you've got to get to. It's 63 or 64, then you'll be jumping to 103 to 104. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
I love that filler season.
Jump that filler. Don't worry about the randomness that you'll see for the first 1 or 2 episodes. They'll bin that. Don't worry about that.
Good.
Just jump back in. Just jump back in. Ignore anything that you're not familiar with. Just ignore it. Purge it from your mind. I know you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Purge that out, right? Don't worry about that, and get in to the beginnings of the greatest material, like outside of 1,000 Year Blood War, that Bleach has to offer. Like,
I can't wait.
It's
oh yeah, I'm trying to cast my mind back. What the fuck did they call him? Yeah, that whole hard.
Well, there's two, man. There's two really, because when you come back in, there's obviously an introduction, and then very shortly after, intermingled within that is another introduction. You're thinking both of these particular introductions. I won't say any more than that, whether it's anything about it. But yes, you're thinking of.
I had completely forgotten about what happens next. Honestly, like,
it
sounds like you need a rewatch, bro.
Nah, not that bit, mate. Nah,
a reread, if anything. For us,
I
was
thinking
it'd be a reread. Yeah, definitely, man. It'd be a redo. Yeah, there are two particular
filler arcs, mate. Filler arcs. They put effort into this arc or these arcs, these filler arcs as well, which I just don't normally. It feels like when you're watching filler, there's throwing bits and bobs together to make up some time, but with Bleach, just like, no, you guys clearly like tried to think this out, and still, this is what you did.
I respect. I was going to say I respect what they tried to do. I've always thought that genuinely. I respect the, especially for one that we've spoken about, right? Like the one that we've spoken about, I hella respect what they tried to do there, but I'm still not going to insult my eyeballs.
Watch it.
By watching it. Like, I don't watch filler. It's just one of those things. It doesn't matter how much somebody recommends something, I don't watch filler. Like, if it's not written by you wouldn't read a book in a series and then pick up a full book of filler that's not by the author. You wouldn't, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
You would skip that and you would move on to what the author wrote, because you're not interested in that stuff.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about stories written within the same universe after the authors died 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like 100 years ago. We're talking like at that moment. Like the real stuff exists, so let's do this. Like, no, I'm not
That's
about
why
that.
I am so glad I've read and I'm going to stay up to date with Jujutsu Kaisen, because I am going to do the anime for it. I am extremely. I've seen like some stills.
I have
and
to
the
see
stills
some of those
look
fights.
beautiful.
I have to.
Sorry?
I'm sorry, I was just saying I have to see some of those fights, man. I have to see them.
I just
like, animated.
hope
I've got
that
to.
the animation quality on them is, it doesn't even need to be top tier with the fights, because I've got an appreciation for the weight of the fights now.
Oh yeah.
So that is gonna automatically score it a couple of points. But I've seen so many stills of Jujutsu Kaisen anime, and they always look so well done. Like shading on them's awesome, and I don't know if that's been dressed up for the image or if that is a still from the anime. But if it is just a raw still from the anime, I cannot wait to get my eyeballs on that.
Even like beyond that, like think of the excitement that both of us have for some of those endgame Demon Slayer fights.
Oh my gosh.
After the animation in season 1, like just some of the craziest, like well animated fights I've seen in ages. Just the seamless, like CGI thrown in, just absolutely seamless between that 2D, 3D in such a good way. And just how, for like the bitch basing early fights that at the time are like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then you see some of the fights that that we've seen later on. Oh,
devastation. It was Clockwork that pointed out to me that Caesar, or the movie, is
out apparently.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Like apparently the movie's out. Someone mentioned
it. Someone on my stream, like yesterday or the day before, literally chimed up because we were talking about anime, mentioned Demon Slayer, and they turned around and they're like, "Oh, have you seen the film yet?" And I was like,
"I need to get on this if it's out."
I was like, "What film?" I said, "Like, what? Is it the Thingy Train arc?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
I need to find out. I'm gonna be that's me. Once we've done this recording, that's me digging that bad boy out.
If you find it,
send it.
Hit me up, because that has to be watched. Like,
I know.
If they put movie effort,
this is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying.
If they put movie effort into like the same. God, I hope it's like the same animation style. I hope they don't do that like over the top, we've pushed it too far style. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Where films just sometimes take it a bit too far.
Yeah.
With like how pretty and gnarly they try and make it look. It's like no, you don't need to take it that far. Like I understand.
Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Yeah, that's exactly what that was about.
There you go then. Do you know what I mean? Like you get that. I think you just there's no need. It's already flashy enough. Like anybody who thinks that like Dragon Ball Z isn't flashy.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
They had to put in like a CG dimension shattering sort of thing where they broke reality, and it's all just looking like you're on some major psychedelic trip in the background while they're fighting. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
it's just unnecessary. It's
there's
like
no need for that. It was enough.
When it gets to a point where their normal moves crack planets, like there's no need to be flashy in that. Do you know what I mean? Like we're talking some like ultimate move on Ultimate Ninja Storm. Sasuke in his like one arm mode, putting a hole through the earth. Do you know what I mean? Like just crazy levels levels of just like, come on now.
If they do make the jump in quality for the train bit on Demon Slayer, because obviously I know what happens, and
same.
my flip it in my head. I'm like, I can't wait for season 2 because I can't wait to for the train bit to carry on and blah 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 blah. But if that is going to be in a movie, I mean, that is probably I was going to say probably the first.
Gonna say this is definitely
it takes it up a
something you
tier.
forgot.
Yeah, there's the moments like to do with this train journey that push the bar up.
Yeah.
For
yeah,
in quite a way, in like more so than it
Absolutely.
has been pushed at any point in Demon Slayer so far.
Because it did that classic thing where it just went, now here's a bad guy who's serious.
Yeah. But up until now, you ain't seen nothing when it comes to...
Yeah, you thought you'd seen power. No, this is a guy who it's just like, oof. It's a seriously good job that Fire Hasher is chilling, because if he wasn't, it'd be a short series.
Yes.
Oh my god. I need to see.
Absolutely, because this is something I think I told you, Ryan, before you'd even started reading it. Like, I told you that before you'd like watched it, before we'd watched any of it, before you'd like read it, anything like that.
You had to try and convince me.
I did.
A little while. You had
several times.
What the fuck was I doing? But yeah,
several times, mate. I had to get you on that. You were just like, I'll get to it. And then by the time you're on that final arc, you're sending messages through like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, mate, I told you it was unreal.
PT knows best.
And I think that's the last time you ever doubted a recommendation from me when it came to an anime or a manga. It's just like, right, I'm on it then.
That was it, mate. That's
definitely Demon Slayer was the seller.
Mm.
And then had there been one before? Can't remember.
Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, Judy Tyson for you both. Yeah, like
both
12 episodes of glorious.
So good.
Like one of the greatest, if not my personal favourite short series I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
it was a series, wasn't it? I've got it as a movie in my head, like as I'm thinking about it now.
12 episodes, mate.
Yeah,
That's
it was episodes, wasn't it?
And done. And sometimes that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how it should be, and I think the worst part about I think one of the only bad things for me personally about Junie Tyson is how much you enjoy the characters for the Game of Thrones style action that you get where no one's safe. Like, you love some of these characters, and it's just like, oh yeah, this character's great. They've got a heart of gold.
Do you know what? That's one of the only. It's not shonen. I don't think it is. Is it a shonen anime?
Yes, it is. It is. I was going to say that get the manga on Shonen Jump.
Yeah. That used the tropes against you.
Yep.
Yeah,
like
really
with
did.
Monkey,
everything you've ever
Monkey's
loved.
Clearly going to win this one. Monkey, everyone's talking about Monkey. Monkey this, Monkey that.
Monkey can't go.
Monkey see, Monkey don't.
Yeah, Monkey see, Monkey die, mate. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to be like Rabbit for president, mate.
I was waiting for Rabbit to win that.
I know, right? Tell me about it. And then Rat came along and ended up being the best character imaginable. Like one of the greatest abilities in anime/manga I think I've come across, to be honest. Like, of all the abilities, when you think, like, just literally scan through all those like different things, those gnarly things that you see, I think that fucking 1,000 paths was one of the. Was it 100? Sorry, 100 paths. Yeah,
100 paths. I think. Yeah.
That 100 paths was just absolutely outrageous.
It's too good. Even Sasuke plot armor can't beat that. All right.
Oh, it can.
It took me to have a discussion with you guys before I fully understood exactly what the hell the guy was doing.
Yeah. Like, literally living a situation 100 different times and then picking the one that worked.
Yeah.
Literally resetting. Yeah, insane.
I've come across another really cool ability, actually. You remember that manga that I was telling you about, Tokyo Shinobi Squad?
Oh yeah, the original name. Yeah.
Right, so it's only like what 20 odd chapters long. I didn't know until like I got to the end that was just it. But the power, it's not really the lead character, but the character introduced to first, his power is, they call it remembrance. And he's just able to remember a whole lot of stuff really quickly. And the way they used it, like when they explained it to me, I'm like, why is this regarded as like badass? And then the way they used it, I'm like, oh snap.
Yeah.
And obviously at the end of it, like the last two chapters, it's a major time jump and he's a bit older and he's like mastered it and he can do implant himself into people's memories to make them
See,
think that
this
he's
is
controlling
you
Yeah.
told me about this
I'm like,
one.
yo, that's I
that's
did
some-
not. Yeah,
That's some
that was-
Fullbringer shit, that, innit?
Yeah,
Not saying
like,
any
that's-
more than that.
Yeah.
That's some, do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's an over the head scenario, and that's how it
Yeah.
should be.
And I'm like, yo, that was like nice how they actually used it. I mean, I suppose it's how they use the powers in anime and manga.
Yeah.
really, isn't
man,
it?
it's no different, in my opinion, to the first. As soon as you started telling me about it, the first thing that came to my mind was Toga's permeation.
Yeah.
From My Hero,
Yeah.
Lemillion. Literally when his ability can just fall through stuff, like can just
Yes.
go through things, and obviously
But you
it's
see,
like
you
a
know what, right?
terrible ability when you
Yeah.
don't know what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
I
amazing.
love
He
the
used
angle
it
they
like
did
a
on that.
Beast.
Oh.
I mean,
Oh,
they could
Miria.
have just left it as my man could just move through stuff, but then they brought in that whole sort of science of it, like,
Yeah,
the
where it's
gravity, and
like,
he has
how
to
he can
concentrate
go
and
underground
eject
it
himself
projects
out and
himself
stuff.
out. Yeah, so it like rejects him, so it throws him out of whatever he's in.
Like,
And-
I didn't really understand why he was like so like. Why have you introduced this character as like almost top tier
Man.
because he can move through stuff, and then they explain that, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that gets a round of applause every single time.
Every time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
speaking of introductions, Toga's got to be one of the greatest introductions to a character I've ever seen. I died when Midoriya's taking the fucking rubbish out. He's taking the taking the bins out,
Yeah.
taking the bins out, and then he's just his face in
His
the
face
wall.
is there, yeah.
Just his face in the wall. He's just like, hi. It's just like Midoriya just freaks out. 'Cause there's just a face in the wall. Like,
You would though, wouldn't you? If you
murdered
could,
me,
Yeah.
man.
you
And
would.
especially
You-
how he's drawn that proper like Doug
That's
style drawing.
Derpy
Yeah.
face.
He's so good. What a
Love it.
character. What a
Yeah.
character. That, and spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen My Hero here, just a quick warning.
Mm.
The emotion behind the loss of those powers.
Oh,
I
oh my
can't.
God.
Remind me.
I can't
Mate.
even. That whole thing where he's just like, nah, but you got to smile anyway, aren't you? And he's like crying through this. Oh, my Lord.
That whole bit, that when
Powerful
is
stuff.
saving the chicken and everything, like in
Heartbreak.
terms of gruelingness in a fight, right?
Brutal,
It's not
man.
as up there as at the end of Demon Slayer. It's not,
Mm-mm.
but it's the closest thing to it that I can recall.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head right now, it is the closest thing to it.
Oh,
Definitely.
man,
It was just
we have
so
seen-
emotional. Like
Yeah.
I'm being pulled emotionally by action. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that much of a beat,
Absolutely. Like,
and he still stands firm, mate.
yeah,
Yeah, he
of
does.
all the sort of, classic protagonist struggle I've ever seen, I don't think I've seen a struggle quite like the Demon Slayer finale. Like,
No, there isn't. There
I
just isn't.
just don't think I've ever seen a protagonist.
Nobody
just-
has.
Yeah,
No.
no, honestly, man. Like, and it's one of those. Seriously, like I've never seen somebody push through such a tanning.
Mm.
Like it's crazy. Like it really.
All
There's
you're
no,
thinking throughout the
there's
whole
no
thing is how are
beans
you
to
going to do it?
pop.
How are you
What
going
they
to cut
call-
No Krillin here with sensu beats.
So there you go. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
beans.
yeah.
I always forget the name of it. I was going to say there's no
Sensu
cheeky
beans,
beans to
sensu
pop and
beans.
just be like reset. No,
yeah.
like this
But-
is some crazy, honestly, some crazy, grueling push through action where you genuinely have those moments of doubt. Despite the fact that you know you're reading a manga and you know the tropes, you still aren't
Doubt
sure. Like,
Even after the fact, you're like, nah, I can't
Yeah,
be this. It's
it's
going to
one
come
of
back.
it's one of those, yeah, even when
It's
it's
gonna
like the
come back and
fight's
get you.
over, but is it?
Yeah.
But is it over though?
Do you know what? I'm kind of now thinking about it. I am a little, but this is my pessimistic mind, maybe. A little bit concerned for if and when the anime gets to that point. I can't see it just being played out in the anime like it was in the manga. I've never seen anything in anime like where there's that much going off in the manga where the anime hasn't done something to space it out a bit.
Oh yeah, there's no Orochimaru Saratobi back and forth, is there? Like, you know what I'm saying though. There's no
Yeah,
five,
yeah.
there's no 3 to 5 episodes of
It's
give
just
me those
thing
hands.
after thing after thing after thing.
Like, yeah, it's constantly moving. But again, that's why I love reading manga. Because it's to the point. There's no messing. There's no drawing out. There's no cliffhangers. Like, don't be wrong, until you catch up. I mean, if you're reading a series that's out, like I read through Demon Slayer when I didn't even know it had finished, and then
That
it's,
must have been such a shock now. Fucking hell.
It
Now
was,
I'm like
man.
finished it. Fucking hell.
like
Yeah.
knowing that, I get, like I say, it's like 214 chapters long, I believe, to the number. I believe that's how long it is. And because I've been spoiled by things like Naruto and Bleach at 500, just ridiculous. No, it's way more than that. I think Bleach has got, 700 to 800 odd?
I want to say it's at least 600.
Man,
I can remember
there's a
600
lot
special.
either way. There's so many chapters. And obviously for Demon Slayer to be as I really did have it. It'll probably rock the boat for a lot of people, but Demon Slayer was my Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer was my there's nothing better than this at the time, this is the one, how everybody I loved Attack on Titan. I still it was a great series. But it got hit hard by the fandom, in the sense of this is the best thing to ever come out of Japan. Do you know what I mean? So many people were just and it was fantastic. It was great. But now when I think back on some of the action scenes in Attack on Titan, and then I think of some of the action scenes in Demon Slayer, they're at a totally different scale. But I know which one I find more, seeing, I remember seeing Levi, rip up an arm and across the back of that neck and being oh my Lord. And then I saw Zenitsu do Thunderclap and Flash.
Don't.
And they are two different levels of I'm out my seat. I remember seeing that and being having a little giggle. And then I remember seeing, that stage 5 Thunderclap and Flash on those spiders, mate.
Yeah.
Up through that building. You can just think about it now. Do you know what I mean? I can't get enough. That got rewound about 3 times, that moment. I'm not kidding. I rewatched that about 4 times in total, I think, before I let the episode carry on.
I would just imagine if Demon Slayer was done in a way like a lot of other manga and anime because there was a lot going off that wasn't shown in Demon Slayer. In the manga, there's character development through the arse that you don't even realize that it ever, you know what I mean?
And Demon Slayer does not mess about either. It doesn't go how about we spend the next chapters on training? No.
No.
Get to it.
Yeah.
You get training. Don't get me wrong, you definitely get training, but it keeps it alive because you get the incredible interaction between Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu, yeah. You get the incredible back and forth between that dynamic. Do you know what I mean? While
they
they're
are
training
amazing
and whatnot.
together.
And not at one moment during that, blasting the part with your lungs bit was I thinking, I wish this was over.
No.
Because the whole time I'm thinking, I'm just thinking Tanjiro on a level up. Yes, please.
I'm trying to think of any other periods of time they spent training in the manga. To mind, I can't think of anything else to mind.
Man, you definitely got bits of training, but again, training at the beginning of the mountain, insane. Training at the mansion. Awesome,
it's not training throughout. A lot of My Hero Academia, for instance, the whole thing's training. Everything's training. Bleach, Naruto, they have to keep going back for training again and again and again to steady level up. But with Demon Slayer, it's training happened at the beginning-ish, and then my man's just out there.
But this is the thing, though. It's you see the training where he gets the level up, but Demon Slayer is the definition of your boy better get good.
Yes.
And you better get good quickly, right? Because, we're all getting older. Demons aren't getting any, you know what I mean? They live eternally, so let's not mess about, we're only human, they're not. And the odds are stacked so heavily against us. And it's the kind of thing where it didn't just shove the hasher down your throat either.
No.
You got to meet them all, and you got to see this, and you got to see that, and you get to see them for the most part, but it doesn't just, it doesn't just go you love that, don't you? Oh, you love that. Do you know what I mean? You see them when it's necessary.
Yeah, by the end of it, you're not okay, Bleach, you are super excited to find out what these captains can do. Yeah. And you want to see it and blah, blah, blah. And I dare say that sort of carries throughout Bleach up until the very near the end, but there's none of that at all by the end of Demon Slayer. By the end of
No.
Demon Slayer, like, just why? Just you guys are almost irrelevant now. Like, can you just let little Tanjiro and gang like do their thing, please?
Man,
Okay,
it's
Zenitsu at the end.
insane, yeah.
Zenitsu at the end is a different animal.
That's the
to-
only thing that I know me and you agreed on, Ryan, of a little bit of disappointment. Like, I appreciate not getting caught up in the training arc,
Yeah.
but the one thing we will say is, like, Zenitsu pretty much just turns back up and he's just like, I'm bad man now, step aside. Like, it genuinely
Best
does. Like,
description ever.
Do you know
honestly,
what?
man, like, there's
He doesn't
no...
even say that. He just does it. He doesn't
Yeah,
say
there's no-
fuck
there's
all.
no-
He just
does it?
turns
Oh
up
my
and
God.
fucks
I'm
it
sure
up.
Tanjiro's like, oh, Zenitsu, you seem like a totally different person. Then he's just clapping cheeks. Like, I swear that's basically it, mate. Like, there's no, you know what I mean? There's no like
Yeah.
mess about like, oh, what have you been up to, Zenitsu? Let's have some flashbacks. No, man, I'm just a beast.
No.
Let's get on with it. Like, seriously,
Oh
it's
my
crazy,
God.
man.
It
Like,
is,
they
it
really
is,
do.
it
They
is.
really do. Like,
But I wasn't annoyed by it. It left me a
No.
bit like, have I missed something? Do I need to go back a few chapters? Did I skip
definitely,
a few? Like,
definitely.
but it still worked for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a series, incredible. Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Well, guys, I think it's about that time.
Yes, I think you're right.
A bloody pleasure as always, absolutely.
Definitely.
The hour mark has been and gone.
In that case, then, thank you all for joining us tonight. If you enjoyed it, drop us a like if you fancy it. If you just want to chat about stuff, let us know in the comments. Want to talk Bleach? One of us will hit you up. I'm sure that guy will be on it if you want to talk Bleach. He's on
Anytime,
it.
day or night,
Right.
give us a shout. Let's do this.
Do
Yeah.
But I've been Clockwork Nerd.
I have been that guy.
And I've been PT64.
See you around, guys.
Take it easy, guys.
Peace.